I felt like a drowning man gasping for air. This place felt familiar. A ghost of a memory surfaced, about riding here for countless days.
The reason why it all feels so familiar is because, well, it's basically the same game as in 2010, but somehow they made it a lot more annoying to play. Of course, the graphics and the sound are hugely improved. I mean, I've never seen a game that looked like this. The light particles, the atmosphere, the feeling is simply amazing. Best there is right now. The performance is also great. I always got a solid 60 FPS, so the game runs great. But, and it's a pretty big but, I did get a lot of bugs and glitches in this game, and apparently a lot of reviewers don't mention this. So I wonder if these reviewers played the whole game, because these glitches were pretty serious. Some of them were a soft lock, so that means if you get stuck, that you just have to reload the level and then you can play further. But I think I was at about 75% in the game and I got a hard lock, so that means if you reload the level or restart your PlayStation or computer, you still are stuck. You cannot go any further in the game. So that's pretty game breaking if that happens. I don't know if this is already solved with some updates. And I read a lot of comments on YouTube videos that a lot of people have this problem, that the game is full of glitches and bugs. So I don't know if this still is the case right now. Maybe they already solved it with updates. Anyway, so I was stuck. How did I solve it? Well, I didn't want to replay the whole game because it's so long and pretty boring to play. So I just watched the other part on a YouTube video. So to mix it up a little bit, in this game you play with two main characters, Alan Wake and Saga Anderson. Now the game starts pretty strong with a very interesting murder that you have to solve, and there's some surprise there. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you are very interested in this game. But after that it gets pretty boring and repetitive. You play a lot in the same environment with the two different characters. So Alan Wake plays a lot in the city and a hotel, and Saga Anderson plays a lot in the forest. So that's all you're gonna see, and the enemies are all the same. So you defeat them with a flashlight and a gun, just the same as in the previous game. But in the previous game there were a lot more enemies. Here are far less enemies, but they are more of a bullet sponge here. So yeah, but again, everything looks amazing. They clearly spent a lot of time creating this environment, and they did an amazing job at it. But sadly, you spend most of your time watching at a board. That's for Alan Wake, and for Saga Anderson, you stare at a wall.
A plot board for mapping out a story. On the index cards, the nightmare that just happened to me. A summary of the story so far, but other notes as well.
So that's what it basically is. The chapter that you've just played, now you have to map that out with pictures and notes, and every time you click on a note, the story gets explained again, but you've just played it, so it's just all filler to make the game a lot longer than it actually is. And then you also have a file cabinet, and you cannot progress the game if you don't do this. So it's not a little extra that you can do to refresh your memory. No, you have to do it, and it all has to be in the exact place with the right notes. Now the game does help you when it's wrong, but still it's very annoying. And if you have a lot of notes and pictures and files, as you can see, it can take up a lot of time. It's very time consuming, and you have to do this every 5 or 10 minutes in the game, and you can see how much time you have to spend here. So that's very, very annoying to do. And you have to do it 2 times for Alan Wake and also for Saga Anderson. But you don't have to do it as much for Alan. You will do it most of the time for Saga Anderson's sections. So I think you are beginning to see why I didn't want to do this shit all over again with a new save game, because my save game was corrupted. It really is a shame, because they have created an amazing story and world with a lot of throwbacks to the first game and also the game Control from 2019. So all these 3 games are now linked together, and yes, you can play and enjoy Alan Wake 2 if you didn't play Alan Wake and Control, but you are going to be very confused. I've played those games, and even I am confused now after playing Alan Wake 2, because this game makes it all very, very complex. So Alan was really stuck in the dark place, and he was trying to get out for 13 years. And now bad stuff is happening to his girlfriend, so he's trying to save her. That's the reason he wants to get out, and he gets out, but he has to go back in because the dark place is changing his story again, so he has to rewrite it again. So it's actually basically the first game all over again. And well, you can do that for multiple games. They can do that for Alan Wake 3, 4, 5, and 6, just over and over again. It's actually the same as they did with the Terminator movies. History repeating itself and rewriting it again and again. So you can go endlessly with this story. So if you just want to be impressed by visuals and walking around, finding stuff, and looking at a board with pictures and a red line and little notes, then you are going to love this game. Did I enjoy the game? Well, yes, but I was very annoyed at the same time, if that makes sense. I'm glad I've played it, but never again, no. So, thank you for watching, and you all have a nice day. Bye!
Dark shades could never save the day. So sad, but true.